Hey everyone, this is Chad Pavel here. I'm going to show you how you can take advantage of the $8 billion plus and growing in funding and get up to $2 million in loans from the Small Business Administration Disaster Loan Program to get through COVID-19 and ensure that your business and your employees are taken care of. So disasters have come year after year. This isn't the first time they've happened, but every single time a disaster comes through, most people just sit on the sidelines and let the world happen to them. But right now, we're helping business owners, specifically anyone affected by COVID-19, apply for SBA disaster loans and get them approved so they can continue on with their businesses. Currently, 21 states are covered. And if you look through this bullet point list, we should be able to add more coverage in the coming days as the SBA and the states work out amongst themselves which jurisdictions will be offering SBA loan assistance. And so we've included a link here on the page. If you look below, you can click and see the current updated list of states and specific counties within those states that are offering this disaster relief program. So this really reminds us of the BP oil spill a number of years ago, because when the BP oil spill hit, there was tremendous uncertainty for business owners. People weren't sure what to do. But in the end, there was also a massive windfall of loans and even cash payments that helped business owners get through this problem for a number of years, continue to pay their clients, continue to pay their employees, serve their clients, and stay in business. And so BP's total estimated settlement was $53.8 billion. By the time COVID-19 is done, we could be even higher than that. It's still too early to tell, but already the stock market has wiped trillions of dollars off in value, and it doesn't look like as of right now it's going to bounce back very quickly anytime soon. But just like the BP oil spill, we need to make sure we submit a flawless application to the SBA, as a lot of people are competing for this $8 billion. Hopefully they will extend that program and offer 20, 30, who knows, even more money to small businesses, but we need to make sure. So here's how I can help you. I'm a CPA and former investment banker. We've helped dozens of companies get funding by preparing their financials and putting forth the best possible, highest quality applications so that your application gets pushed to the top or the front of the line. We're ready to help you and your business partners and your employees get a share of the $8 billion in SBA aid as quickly as possible. So that's what we do here at our firm. And so how does it work and what do you need to actually prepare? You will need to apply your most recent federal income tax returns, and that's for your 2019 year. So you need to prepare your business tax return, whether you're an S Corp, a partnership, or a C Corp, or a sole proprietorship or single member LLC. You need to prepare your federal income tax returns for 2019. As soon as possible. You also need to prepare a personal financial statement, a schedule of liabilities, listing all fixed debts, and you need to fill this out, including the SBA application paperwork as well, which isn't too bad, but it's definitely a number of pages and number of information pieces you need to pull together. You also need a year-end profit and loss statement and balance sheet for that tax year, which is 2019, and a current year-to-date profit and loss statement. So we suggest as of at least February 29th this year. And soon, if you apply after the end of March, you'll probably need a March 31st. We also need monthly sales figures for increases in the amount of economic injury, because we want to be able to show the SBA that not only do you need money now, but you need enough capital to get you through the drop in sales that you're going to be expecting in the coming months. So we need to really forecast this out so we can get you as much capital as possible at the most favorable terms. Here's our process. First, we need to have a strategy session where we speak with you, run through the high-level financials, and see how much capital you can be eligible for. Number two, within 2 days, we send out an information request list where we will have you send us financial information so we can begin working on your tax and your financials. We then have a kickoff call within a week where we go through our initial findings and our initial work, and then we complete your application. Again, you need your tax returns and your financials and a basic forecast put together, and we can have all of that done in 2 to 3 weeks. And then obviously once we get the application submitted, you will then hear back. They are telling us within 1 to 2 weeks, but we have yet to see, because I'm sure we're going to get each state will probably have hundreds to even thousands of applications from business owners coming in. So better to act now rather than later once the volume really picks up. And basically, when we put together this offering, we had two options. We can offer as many as possible and go as cheap as possible, but we realized that would get everybody into trouble because we'll be competing against others. And if we submit, 1,000 applications and only 30% of them get accepted, we're contributing more to the problem than to the solution. So that's not what we wanted to do. So we're actually working with a smaller handful of clients to be able to create more quality applications and work with them and work with the SBA loan officers in order to get the applications pushed through and obviously have a higher success rate. So that's what we opted for, which is the second option. So here's what you're going to get if you work with us. Assistance with your tax preparation, because you need your 2019 business and even personal tax returns prepared and done for 2019. Completion of your monthly sales figures so that we can forecast out how much capital you need. Completion of a monthly profit and loss for the application, a personal financial statement as well needed for your application, a schedule of liabilities listing all fixed debts, personal and business, assistance in completing all the loan docs, and assistance in addressing the responses from the SBA. Again, all in the theme of helping you get your application pushed to the top and approved as quickly as possible, because we know you need that capital. So there's two components to what we need to do. We need to prepare your financials and we need to prepare your loan application. So in this time of need, we're going to be streamlining our pricing. Since this is a pretty standard application, it really depends on how much work you need to have done on your accounting and your tax, but it probably will not be $15,000. It will be typically much, much less. Loan brokers typically charge $5,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 as they get your application through and approved. Right now, we put that rate at $7,500. We're not going to charge you $7,500. In fact, we're legally bound to charge much less. So in order to see what this will cost you, and obviously the goal here is to get you the funding. So whatever fees it takes you to accelerate your tax returns and get your loan application done, the goal is obviously to get you $50,000, $250,000, $500,000, even $2 million in funding as quickly as possible. And so the time to act is now. So let's also talk about the type of loan. Well, business loans are going to be up to $2 million. You can use these loans to pay for fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills that can't be paid because of the disaster's impact. What are the terms? Well, you can get up to 30 years to repay, but most of these loans will probably be in the 7 to 15 year range. The typical SBA loan for working capital is 10 years. The payments will very likely be monthly, and you can get at least a 4-month deferral on the first payment. So we can get you the loan, the first payment, and then you actually wouldn't have to make a payment for at least 3 to 4 months. In most cases, you can even extend this out even longer. The interest rate is 3.75% for small businesses, and nonprofits, the rate is a little bit less at 2.75. So if you've applied for a loan before, you know that 3.75% is the lowest it probably ever will be for a business loan, especially a long-term loan like a 10, 20, or 30-year loan. So this is by far the cheapest capital you will ever see in your lifetime as a business owner, for sure. How long is the process? Well, again, once we fill out the paperwork and get your tax returns and financials all submitted and finalized, we should hear back in about 2 to 3 weeks from the state. You should receive your first check for up to $25,000 about 5 days later. This is coming from the SBA in the States. Will you qualify? Well, economic disaster loans are available for nonprofits, small businesses, and agricultural cooperatives. The SBA usually considers a small business when it generates between or less than $750,000 to $38.5 million if you have under 1,500 employees. Other application requirements, well, the SBA prefers applicants with a good credit history and a good credit score. So this isn't for just any business. You still need to have a pretty decent credit score and credit history in order to get this loan. Satisfactory performances on prior SB loans or government student loans are also looked very favorably upon. So if you have a lower credit score, you still could get this. You might just need additional collateral or a co-signer with a stronger credit profile in order to get this loan. So just beware of that. And finally, you have to show the ability to repay the loan. Usually you need to show at least 1.25 debt service coverage ratio or better. All right, so we'll help you determine if your current cash flow can support this loan as well. If you don't get approved, well, again, you've really just cleaned up your financials. That'll help you potentially approach another lender. You will have these done. At the end of the day, the people with projected business losses, the extra amount for the loan application, it won't make a huge difference because getting approved for this loan certainly would. So the positives obviously outweigh the negatives or the costs. You'll have your financials cleaned up, you'll have a forecast, and you'll know exactly where your business stands. So book a call below by clicking the button or booking a call directly into our calendar. We're standing by. Again, we've expanded our calendar. We even have some earlier and some late and weekend hours available. If you need help getting an SBA disaster loan, click the button. We'd be glad to speak with you and see how much you qualify for. Look forward to speaking soon.